man, don't be afraid to disappoint people, y'all. I'm talking to the artists out there. Never be afraid to disappoint people. You're not responsible for people's ignorance and expectations. Repeat. I'm not responsible for people's disappointments and expectations. Let me see if I can, speak to the light where it shines. Speak to the light where it shines. Don't speak to the light where they don't give a fuck about it. Speak to the lights where it shines. I be saying shit unconsciously and shit be so fucking dope. Listen. The world is selfish. That's so I've been hitting some seeds, the world is fucking selfish. And sometimes you think I'm a simple man or I'm a simple woman. That's what I do. So I don't think they're gonna bother me. Right? You're wrong. I'm sorry to tell you that you're wrong. You think wrong. Because they bother everybody. When I say they, I mean the world. And it's not funny. It's not funny. If you see that somebody like me say that something is not funny, then it's really not funny. It's really not funny. Not in the good sense. Because there are policies, right? In this world, we have policies. You know why we have policies? Because we have laws, This world is governed by laws. And certain laws must be observed by X amount of people. Then, let's say Joe from this first group, right? That's been observing, let's say, 48 laws. Joe graduates from that category. Then Joe only now is obliged to observe 24 laws, right? That's 2 times less. Then he's so hard working. He works his butt off again, and he graduates again, he graduates. It's like a school where the more you work, the more freedom you get to enjoy your hard work that you've been doing. And Joe graduates again. Now he doesn't observe 24 laws. Now Joe only has to observe 12 laws. 12 laws. It becomes more and more simple for Joe or Janet. They be rocking it. They be doing their own thing. They don't get distracted by the other people. Observing maybe 48 laws, maybe 86 fucking laws. They be doing their own thing and they be just going up the ladder. And they be having fun doing it. They don't give a shit. Joe and Janet, they don't give a shit. And they graduate again. Shit. They graduate again. But let me tell you something. The more you graduate, the harder graduation becomes. The more, the harder it becomes. Joe and Janet knows that. They know that. But they don't care because they know from their experience, from their convictions, from their maybe bloodline or background or what they believe, that there is nothing that is able to stop them. They're here for it. They were born for it. So they just go. And they go up the ladder. Now they're not obliged to observe or respect 12 laws. Shit. They graduate from 12 to 6 laws. Damn. Now shit becomes interestingly dangerous. Shit becomes interestingly dangerous because they're still living in the same damn environment where there are still people observing hell 86 fucking laws. And these people been looking at Joe and Janet like, who are these two that be rocking it so well, so effortlessly, right? How many laws they observing? Now they start gossiping. You know, it goes from one town to the other. How many laws Joe and Janet are observing? How many laws? How many laws? Oh, some people don't know that they already graduated from 12 to 6. So they say, maybe they are observing 24 laws because they're talented, and stuff like that. But the gossip goes farther because the less laws you have to observe, the more they're gonna test you to see if that's true. And there is this thing about belief that I really have a hard time to accept. It's like, yes, belief is good. Believing is it's fine. But why don't you just switch a little bit and start knowing instead of believing? You know why it's that hard? Because it's a work with self. And people don't like to work, bruh. You see the people that they call workaholics? Even these people sometimes, they be like, why do I enjoy working so much? Sometimes they be like that. Sometimes I'll be like that. Sometimes I'll be like, bruh, I woke up, I did my usual, bodily aging, like the Jamaicans say, I wash myself, right? Then I just go straight to the computer and start working. Who does that? It's like no checking on my phone to see anything, no like scrolling on Instagram to look at, no anything. Just straight, I just woke up, okay, let me just go and, brush my teeth, like wash my body and work. And until I feel that my body is kind of like telling me, bro, we need something over here. We need something over here. We need some fuel, we need some resources. And I'd be like, all right, cool, let's eat something. And Joe and Janet goes so up in the ladder that now they're only observing 3 fucking laws. And now it's kind of like, hold on. It's like, hold on. Where are your parents? Where are you from? This is the same kind of crab in the bucket mentality. And I don't say that in the negative sense. I mean, most of it, it's the crab in the bucket mentality. But some of it, the more informed version of it, is the parenting. Like the parenting side of it. It's like, because some people have already because let me tell you something, there's always people above you. There's always people above you. In any endeavor of life, in any sphere, field, in any, there's always somebody doing better than you, and you can't undo that. You can't do something to make it not possible. There's always somebody somewhere doing this thing that you've been reading so much, or making so many researches, or paying so much money in conferences, courses, and workshops, and all that. This person just, it seems like he doesn't have to do all that, and he does it better than you. There's always somebody somewhere doing this thing that you dream of being the best in. There's always somebody doing it better than you, for some reason. That's how the world works. And sometimes they're older than you, sometimes they're younger than you, and sometimes they're broke, sometimes they're rich, sometimes they're, and sometimes when you go so up in the ladder, they be like, oh shoot, let me tell buddy to be kind of careful, because sometimes, Joe and Janet, they be going up the ladder without telling the people behind them to back up. To back up, because the crab in the bucket mentality forces people when they see you going up like that, and they be like, shit, no. Especially when you have certain traits that they can relate to. They be like, oh no, let me tell something. Let me say something. Let me have a say. Let me do this. Let me do that. Like, in order to tell him or tell her or tell them something. Let me warn them, or let me threat them, or let me try to rush them. Let me try to control them. They will always have something to say, because your light is shining too hard already. It's already a fact. And everybody now is concerned. It's like, what is going to be? What is going to be? And Joe and Janet be like, oh, so are you responsible for climbing up the ladder that fast, or that confidently, or that unapologetically? It's like, I should have climbed it masking myself. I should have climbed it pretending I'm someone else. I should have climbed it not embracing my authenticity. I should have climbed it by allowing someone else to take advantage of my talents or my skills or my... And sometimes you do get taken advantage of. You do get taken advantage of. Not even sometimes. More often than not, unfortunately. We do get taken advantage of. Especially the artists out there, because we're empaths. And sometimes we see the trickeries, but we'll be like, man, I just want to do this, so I'm going to just let people take advantage of me. And it's not a good mentality to have. It's not a good mentality to have. I've learned the hard way that you have to set boundaries. And strong boundaries. The more talented you are, the more skillful you are, the more work ethic you have, the most amount of boundaries and the most amount of strong boundaries that you have to set for people. Because you know what people do when they see a beautiful flower in a garden? They come and they pick the motherfucker. They don't walk by, smell, and let it leave. No, they come and they pick it. They detach it from the soil that it was attached, that it was connected to. And sooner or later it dies, because it can't live with a human, like in the palms of a human. People have a hard time accepting or letting something be. especially when it shines. Especially when it shines. And sometimes, we face a lot of accusations as artists because they be accusing us of all kind of things. Like, have you seen people like, for example, couple, two people, one person is like a sweetheart, and the other person is like a demon, and people be like, you attract what you are, and the sweetheart be like, oh, you really think that I'm a demon? And that is why I attracted him or her? You don't think that light attracts darkness? You don't think that empaths attract sick people? Energy vampires? You don't think that doctors attract the diseased? You don't think that restaurants attract people that are hungry? Oh, restaurants only attracts restaurant owners, right? Yeah, right. That's why I like what we call judgment. Man, I've divorced from judging a long time ago. And not to say that I don't prejudge. I prejudge. I mean, I'm a human being, so I prejudge like everybody else. But I force myself to not pay attention to anyone else but me. Because I be saying like everybody else is a distraction. If you're not connected to my world or my path, you're a distraction. Period. If you are not connected to my world or my path or my destiny, you are a distraction. And people have a hard time swallowing that pill, bruh. For real. So yeah, if you like a Joe or a Janet in the story that I just illustrated, don't compromise your authenticity, but at the same time, try and connect with people that maybe have already climbed the ladder fully, or are one level above you, or at the same level maybe, but they're safer than you somewhere, somehow. Peace.